Hello, this is World University and Schools live hangout on air on Monday, April 15th, 2019. I'm Scott McLeod, and as we wait for people potentially to join us in this 10-person participatory Google group video hangout with more access in the live stream, I'd like to just share with you a little bit about some news and updates, and also explore, potentially in conversation with people who join us, inspiring best STEM CC-4 Creative Commons 4 OpenCourseWare vis-a-vis World University and School. So MIT OpenCourseWare has about 2,500 courses online in English, both undergraduate and graduate courses. And it's in 4 other languages, also CC-4 licensed: Turkish, Spanish, Chinese, and Korean, I think. And it's been in Portuguese and Persian and maybe German and French and some other languages. And those are probably accessible archive-wise. But of the 2,500 courses online at MIT OpenCourseWare, which World University and School seeks to accredit upon with the State of California's Bureau of Private Post-Secondary Education, first with licensing with BPPE, question of how to sort of further add inspiration to MIT OpenCourseWare. For example, in Google Group Video Hangouts with graduate student instructors teaching sections, or faculty teaching courses, either World University and School faculty or the MIT faculty themselves, in possibly 250 courses that are in video at MIT OpenCourseWare out of the 2,500 courses, or possibly even with MIT faculty themselves, if World University and School might collaborate more fully with MIT beyond the CC-4 licensing of MIT OpenCourseWare. So MIT faculty could stream into Google Group Video Hangouts and teach courses in a variety of ways, whether it be talks and lectures, or in conference method or tutorials. So inspiration is interesting. Enjoyment, full engagement, creative potential, and in fundamental science, basic science, such as in the 2,500 STEM courses at MIT OpenCourseWare, that perhaps inspiration emerges in the ongoing querying, questioning, developing the research. So that's one approach where one could build on the inspiration of the scientific discovery about, for example, basic fundamental laws of the universe and of nature. But what I have in mind by inspiring here, as we wait for people to potentially join this, is possibly encapsulated by the MIT Media Lab itself, which has come into conversation with the rest of MIT. And what makes that potentially inspiring could be its opportunity for creative PhDs out of the box due to interdisciplinary thinking. And what makes also the MIT Media Lab inspiring is potentially the architecture of the Media Lab itself as an organization, as a center, as an institute, as a school, part of all of MIT. So World University and School could seek to create an architecture for our free to students bachelor's degrees and free to students PhD degrees, which we're accrediting licensing with the BPPE first, in Google Group Video Hangouts, in a very mind-expanding realistic virtual Earth for interactivity and avatar bots at the cellular and atomic levels. Think Google Street View with time slider maps, Earth, TensorFlow for machine learning, Translate for languages, Brain for even species brains and individual brains. But also, the MIT Media Lab is potentially inspiring because there's now, since the mid 80s or even late 70s, a whole decades-long history of PhD projects as models, as examples of the MIT Media Lab successes, knowledge generation in their creative approach to many, many different aspects of information technology development, of bioengineering, of the list goes on in so many ways. So one approach for students who might be thinking about matriculating at World University and School online, studying from their home, to consider studying at World University and School would be that we're seeking to create an inspiring approach to MIT OpenCourseWare, potentially engaging the MIT Media Lab architecture. I think it's in the School of Architecture at MIT. I think Nicholas Negroponte, one of the founders of the Media Lab, maybe approach to architecture, I think possibly as an architect himself, informs that MIT Media Lab architecture. So MIT Media Lab vis-a-vis MIT itself as one approach to inspiration with MIT OpenCourseWare. And then the other is potentially Stanford as an example, where there's both California excellence, there's excellence, academic excellence, and also a California, I'll call it laid backness is how I see it, with academics who are doing research, and research itself is a very creative and therefore potentially inspiring process, in their disciplines in most remarkable ways. And with highest achieving students who applied to Stanford and got in, so were selected for their high achieving, for their potentially creativity, smarts. And World University and School would also like to create an approach to MIT OpenCourseWare that might dovetail with Stanford's sort of inspirational culture as both excellent academics as well as California milieu, which includes maybe let's go surfing, a laid back approach, different maybe from MIT. A book I have in mind is to compare the STEM ethoses of Stanford and MIT since the 60s and 70s forward. So those approaches would be the ones for inspiring Creative Commons for MIT OpenCourseWare and engaging it at World University and School architecture of MIT Media Lab vis-a-vis MIT itself and Stanford's academic excellence and laid backness potentially, and also perhaps its decades-long history of innovations and track record and PhDs and faculty creations and related publications in these regards. And lastly, before closing, potentially in a kind of Google-centric and also Wikipedia in its 300 languages centric, where everyone can teach and learn. So this is a third way where the wiki aspect of World University and School could, in many languages, could lead to inspiring approaches to online learning, both for matriculated students and also for volunteers, for people interested in open education. So no one's joined us today. Hoping to have also at World University and School home robotics at the high school and college and bachelor's and PhD level. Behind me is Lego. We do two Lego education robotics kit. That's perhaps a building block. It works with the Scratch drag and drop programming language, which in itself has a new add-on, which is languages extension. So potentially it will be possible to do home robotics in many languages. And I'll add to the bottom of this video a recent blog post with all the hardware that's emerging these days, which engages the Scratch drag and drop programming language, all of which could be sent to individuals in their homes and developed toward an engineering degree, for example, at the bachelor's level, or potentially with time at PhD level, or also at the high school level. These are interesting times we're living in, and worlduniversityandschool.org seeks to build an inspiring approach to MIT OpenCourseWare. Check out our Twitter feed, twitter.com/WORLDUNIVANDSCH, and our YouTube feed, youtube.com/WORLDUNIVANDSCH. And if you have questions or thoughts you want to share, email info@worlduniversityandschool.org, WORLDUNIVERSITYANDSCHOOL.org. I think I spelled that right. worlduniversityandschool.org, info@worlduniversityandschool.org. Thanks. Please join this conversation if you're inclined next Monday or subsequent Mondays, 10 a.m. California time, Pacific time. And thank you. Till next time.